Before your fingers ever touch that ticket, before your wallet comes out or your thumb hovers over the screen, before a single syllable crosses your lips or a single hope drifts into the air, say this. Not aloud, not with trembling hands and a desperate heart. Say it the way someone speaks who already knows the ending of the story. Because you are not here to beg. You are here to claim. You are not buying a ticket to maybe. You are walking into a reality that has already chosen you back. This moment right now is not a gamble. It is a declaration. The world loves to call it luck. I call it law. And the law is breathtakingly simple. Whatever you dare to accept as true inside yourself, life will accept as true on your behalf. The ticket is not the source. It is merely the road that delivers what is already yours. The numbers are not the power. The paper is not the power. The power lives in those 3 quiet sentences you are about to speak inside your own mind. It is done. The money is mine. I have already won. Do not repeat it like a machine. Do not scream it. Do not wonder if it is landing. Just say it once, clearly, the way you would state your own name. Then let the silence catch it. Let it sink past your thoughts, past your logic, past everything you were ever told about luck and limitation, all the way down into the place where things become real. Here is the secret most people miss. It is never about the words. It is about the feeling. The words are just the door. The feeling is the room you must enter and live in. So before you say the phrase, do this first. Close your eyes for 10 seconds. Go somewhere else entirely. Imagine you're already home, holding the winning results. Your pulse quickens. Your eyes scan the numbers once, twice, 3 times. Every single one matches. And then the wave crashes. Joy, relief, disbelief dissolving into absolute certainty. That wild rush of I knew it. I actually knew it. Feel that. Grab that feeling and hold it like it belongs to you. Because it does. Now say the words from inside that feeling. It is done. The money is mine. I have already won. That is a completely different act than hoping. That is someone who has already arrived telling the world to catch up. A man who has won does not feel the same as a man who wishes he would. One is anchored. One is drifting. One lives in the answer. One lives in question. You need to become the first man. Not in your bank account yet, but in your bones, your breath, your posture, your private thoughts. You must carry it the way you carry the fact that the sun rose this morning. Unquestioned, automatic, obvious. Forget the idea of picking the right numbers. That is the old way, nervous, effortful, built entirely on doubt dressed up as strategy. The new way is knowing. The new way is letting your inner conviction be so total that the external arrangements have no choice but to cooperate. And here is what you must not do. Do not say, I never win. Do not mutter about your finances. Do not swap stories about how hard money is to hold on to. Every time you do, you are voting for the reality. You are trying to leave. The world is a mirror with perfect recall. It gives back exactly what you feed it. If you speak of lack, lack gets comfortable and starts paying rent. Speak only of what you want to see standing in front of you. There is no mystical force in the lottery, but there is extraordinary power in the spoken word, especially the word spoken in silence and carried in full belief. That word does not need volume to move mountains. It needs only depth. The word becomes reality not through force, not through clever manipulation, but through the law of assumption. Assume it, persist in it. The world will conform. And do not obsess over timing. Time is something the nervous mind invented to worry about. The moment you assume the win, something shifts in the unseen. The seed is in the ground. Whether the flower appears tomorrow or 30 days from now is not your business. Your only business is faithfulness to the state of having received. Live in the end. That is your only job. Say it again now. Quietly. It is done. The money is mine. I have already won. Now ask yourself, how would you walk if that were true right now? How would you sleep tonight if every financial fear you have ever carried simply vanished? How would you breathe tomorrow morning? Would your shoulders drop? Would your jaw unclench? Would there be a quiet smile behind your eyes that no one quite understands but everyone notices? Take that posture. Claim that breath. Make that the way you carry yourself from now on. because that is not pretending. That is practicing the identity of the person you are becoming. And the world responds to identity faster than it responds to anything else. You are not the lottery's audience. You are not sitting in the crowd waiting to be chosen. You are the author of the story, and the story you write inside, in your imagination, in your private speech, in the silent theater of your own mind, is the only story that ever makes it into print. The moment before you buy that ticket, pause, step into stillness, go inward for just a breath, and then speak those 3 sentences as though they're the most natural truth you have ever uttered, not to convince yourself, not to perform, but because in your imagination it has already happened. And what is imagined with genuine feeling, held without contradiction, and lived as certain must become real. That is not poetry. That is law. Then walk away. Let go. Yes, fully let go. Not because you doubt, precisely because you know. A gardener does not dig up seeds every hour to demand progress. He plants. He trusts. He goes on living. Do the same. You have spoken the word. The word is already in motion. You do not need to supervise it. You do not need to chase it. You do not need to explain it to anyone. When doubt knocks, and it will knock, you do not need to answer the door. Simply return to the feeling. Close your eyes, see the wind, feel the wave, and say the phrase again. It is done. The money is mine. I have already won. Let that become your inner compass. Not a mantra you grind to mechanically. A home, a place you return to whenever the noise of the world gets loud. Say it in the car. Say it while waiting. Say it the second your hand reaches for the ticket. Not to alter fate, but to align with the version of yourself who has already received. That version of you is real. Every version of you exists right now. The one in lack, the one in abundance. The question is only ever which one is getting your attention. Shift your attention and you shift your reality. It really is that clean. This is not about greed. It is about mastery. Once you learn to do this with a lottery, you will realize the same law governs every area of life. Love, health, purpose, opportunity. The method never changes. Assume the feeling of the wish already fulfilled. Hold it, live from it. Let the world respond. What separates those who seem to manifest effortlessly from those who seem to struggle no matter how hard they try? One thing alone. Not talent, not luck, not timing. Belief, but not belief as a theory. Belief as a lived experience. A belief so settled it no longer feels like belief. It feels like knowing. That kind of knowing does not shout. It does not grasp. It simply is. Calm and immovable. This is why we say the phrase silently. Because silence goes deeper than speech. It bypasses a critic in your mind and lands directly in the place where all creation begins. Do not divide your mind. Do not visualize the wind in the morning and then complain about your bank account in the afternoon. A divided mind cancels itself. Be singular. Be focused. Let the assumption of your win be the only story you are living inside. When others doubt or mock, you do not need to argue. You do not need to convince them. Your world is built from the inside out. Their agreement is not required. If you slip, if a wave of doubt pulls you under, do not spiral. Do not punish yourself. Just return, breathe, close your eyes. Feel the wind again. Say it again. It is done. The money is mine. I have already won. Speak it until the peace comes back. Speak it until the certainty returns. Speak it until it feels like home again. This process does not require you to understand the mechanics. You do not need to figure out how the numbers will align. You are not responsible for the how. You are responsible only for the what you hold in your mind as settled truth. Life will work around the clock to deliver. The how is not your concern. The when is not your concern. Only the assumption is yours to keep. And as you walk to the counter, as your hand touches that slip, do not waver. Let your inner world remain absolutely still and certain. Others in the line are buying with hope. You are buying with knowing. That is the difference between a person who occasionally wins and a person who inhabits winning as a permanent state. When the wind comes, and it comes, receive it without shock. Welcome it without the dramatic disbelief society has trained you to perform. Do not say, I can't believe it. Say internally, quietly, of course, this is who I am. This is how my world works. Because that is the truth, and it always was. There are no chosen ones. There are only those who understand the law, and those still waiting to discover it. You've found the key now. The only question is whether you will use it. Say the phrase. Feel the reality it represents. Persist in it even when, especially when, the outer world offers no evidence yet. That gap between assumption and evidence is not a sign that it is failing. That gap is where faith does its finest work. Stay there without flinching, and what you have assumed will appear in your life as naturally and inevitably as a tide. When it does, the world will say you were lucky. You will smile, not with arrogance, with understanding, because you know the truth, long before anyone could see it. Long before the screen showed the numbers, long before the check arrived, long before a single external thing changed. You lived it. You claimed it. You assumed it. And so it came. As you move forward with this truth, you will begin to notice subtle shifts, conversations that open unexpected doors, delays that were quietly redirecting you, gut feelings that were actually navigational signals. The world does not suddenly change overnight. It reorganizes around you, imperceptibly, elegantly, with the quiet efficiency of a law that needs no applause to function. You didn't chase the miracle. You became the frequency of it. You didn't force the outcome. You stepped into the identity of someone for whom that outcome is simply what happens. Others believe in odds. Others believe only in what they can touch and measure and calculate, and that is their experience. But you, if you are willing to stand in this truth, you believe in what you imagine. You trust the unseen. You walk by conviction before you walk by evidence. And that single distinction changes everything. Your inner conversations are your prayers. Your private mental monologue is a prophecy you are writing and living simultaneously. What you whisper to yourself in the quiet of your own mind when no one is watching, that is your decree to the universe. Make it count. Make it consistent. Let it be unwavering. Guard the inner speech the way you guard something irreplaceable, because it is the seed of every single experience you will ever have. Feed it well. It is done. The money is mine. I have already won. Let that be your dominant inner tone. Let it become more familiar than doubt. Let it crowd out the voices that question and shrink and second guess. You are not diminishing yourself to fit inside the lottery's odds. You are expanding yourself until the lottery fits inside your reality. The lottery is not the miracle. You are. The ticket is just an instrument. The imagination is the origin of everything. What you dare to assume, emotionally, mentally, with your whole self, will appear in your world. That is the ancient, unbreakable, utterly reliable law. So speak the words, feel the feeling, live the identity, hold the state. And when the outer world finally catches up to the inner world you've been faithfully inhabiting, welcome home. It was always yours. You simply claimed it first in the only place that matters. Inside, it is done. The money is mine. I have already won. And so it is.